Winter is cool, but the world's hottest reiners are in Denver to see who's the best. 2005 NRHA World Champion Rudy Kronsteiner has been to every Reining Masters final, but has yet to see gold. Jeanette Krahenbuhl has also been to all three finals and enjoyed her view from near the top of the podium, but it's the Americans once again who are favored to win. Tom McCutchen leads the U.S. team, but you can never count out a man who's about to count over $2 million in career earnings. Who takes home the cup? Find out next on AQHA's Best of the West. Welcome to Denver, Colorado and the FEI World Reining Masters Finals, a reining event with a truly international scope. Hi everybody, I'm Jeff Metters, with me Pete Kyle. This is a young event, just the third year for it, but it's already a reining event that's showing up very strong on the radar.
Yes, Jeff, it's always important to be able to represent your country. And we have a total of 18 different riders representing 16 different countries from around the world.
Yeah, Brazil in there, strong European influence, even Israel sending a rider over. But the Americans have won this event in each of the last 2 years, and you have to like their chances again this year.
We have two very experienced riders in Tom McCutchen and Shan Florida. They've won everything in the United States and have won major events over in the international level.
And Shan Florida, if he wins anything tonight, he'll become the second reiner to top the $2 million mark in career earnings. And Vive la France, we start with Eric Laporte on Smart Little Thirsty. This is a Sorrel Stallion by Smart Little Lena, and a great resume for Eric Laporte, five-time French Open champion, and that's the reason that he's here. And Pete, we start with the pattern where you run in. What kind of difficulty does that start right off the bat?
Yeah, as you can see, he runs in real fast here, and that puts a big degree of difficulty on that horse running in past that middle marker and trying to nail that stop coming in from the outside. So this is a really good pattern with a lot of high degree of difficulty in it all the way through the entire pattern. So it's going to test these good riders and good horses.
Backs up right into the turnarounds.
He gets a nice spin that way. Eric had a nice first stop. And then good spin that away, and this spin's even looking better. Look at the position of that pivot foot.
Eric, already an experienced international competitor. He was on France's team for the World Equestrian Games. So that quarter spin in there, how difficult is that to factor in?
Well, you do 4 spins the first direction, and then you do 4 1/4, so you line up on the middle judge so you can lope off and do your circles here. And so that adds a degree of difficulty. You're having to go a quarter past there and line right on that judge.
Speaking of degree of difficulty, and Eric pretty aggressive here in his circles.
He is going. I tell you what, he's challenging this horse right out here, and he's early in the draw, and he's trying to make the most of it and really, really having a nice set of circles. He ran really, really fast. 2 large fast circles, and now it's come down to a small slow, and the horse did not lean in any of these circles, showed really good control. And then a nice lead change, and then you change this, we reverse the circles on this side of the arena and go to a small circle. As you see, he changed, the horse stayed relaxed, did a nice small circle, and now he's going to speed right back up for 2 large fast, Jeff.
You know, Pete, what I've noticed in the last decade is you can take these international reiners and kind of sprinkle them into a U.S. event, and you really can't tell them apart. I mean, they've got the style, that they have the aggressiveness in their pattern. They're just really good reiners.
They are really aggressive riders. All of the Europeans are. They really run their circles fast and really ask a lot. And the level of the high-quality trainers over there, they're really up to par with everything across the whole world.
Well, he's been aggressive from the time that he crossed that in gate down there. We'll see if that will still be the case as he gets into his second sliding stop.
Again, a very nice stop. Oh, he had a little bit of a trot on that. He came out and trotted 1 step. That's going to cost him a half-point penalty. Up to that point, though, he had a very clean run and was really marking high.
Very collected around the end of the arena. Turns on the speed again.
Another really nice sliding stop. As you see, the horse kept both hind feet in the ground, slid a long ways. Row back, could have been a little cleaner and come straight back over his hock. He kind of rounded out there a little bit. This is really a nice horse that Brian Bell had used, shown a lot in the United States and won a lot with him, and Eric's using him here and riding him very well.
And there's the 4th and the final sliding stop, and the score for Eric Laporte and Smart Little Thirsty, quite nice, 216.5. Backing up to the spins.
As you can see, this horse really holds his pivot foot. That's the inside foot on that turn, and gets around really nice, moves those front feet well.
Shauna from Canada putting the final stages on her preparation. And meanwhile, Tom McCutchen, the American, well, he's in his pregame, quite relaxed. Let's go to Jennifer Reynolds.
In this event, it's the rider, not the horse, that qualifies, and because of the logistical difficulties of getting horses shipped here from overseas, most of these riders from outside the United States have picked up their horses here after they got here. Some of them only ridden them a couple of days. What it means is that while 60 to the 18 riders are from outside the United States, almost all of the horses you're going to watch tonight are truly American quarter horses.
Well, that's not going to be the case for Shauna. She will be riding her own horse, and this is a son by Top Sail Whiz. And in a competition like this, it's got to be somewhat of an advantage to be comfortable, be on your own horse, and feel at home.
These are great riders, as they've proven it to be able to qualify for here, and it does make it more difficult for you to come overseas and then show and ride a horse that you really haven't had much time to get to know. That makes it a lot more difficult, and you definitely have an advantage like Shauna and the American riders will, having their own horses here and knowing them quite well.
Relatively young event. You continue down that line. The two previous winners that we've had have all been riders that have ridden their own horses. You look at Shauna, started riding in Saskatchewan at the age of 2, owns and trains horses in Okotoks, Alberta. And Pete, I guess if the U.S. is looking for an immediate rival on the reining front, it's probably Canada. Very accomplished, and they're not intimidated by the United States in any way, shape, or form.
No, you're right there, Jeff. Canada has a lot of excellent trainers up there and really, really nice horses. Just at the WEG Games in Germany, they wind up being second behind the USA by just 1 point. So their team almost pulled a huge upset there. And Shauna is a very accomplished rider, as you said earlier, and she comes from a family of horse trainers. Her dad was a horse trainer, so she's grown up being a trainer, and she's shown on every level and can compete real well. As you're seeing, I mean, she's had a good stop and very nice turns and is really nailing this set of circles here. She is a big threat here for anybody that's competing today.
Former Horse Person of the Year, and nice transition into those small circles.
Her horse kind of getting a little nervous with that crowd yelling there. He sped up, and she's doing a nice job of just smoothing him out and getting him back into that maneuver right there, and then stepping back up to these large circles. That's where the horsemanship of these good riders come through, and as a horse maybe gets a little edgy with the crowd or something, they're able to get them through it and show them to their best abilities, and she's doing that.
You hear the crowd in the background. You know, really, if you love reining, you should go to Europe and go to a reining event, because it's similar to going to a Duke basketball game at Cameron Indoor Arena. The crowd's involved, and it's our young crowd. I mean, they're fired up, they love it, and it's a different experience.
It is really fun to go overseas and watch the crowd there, because they play a lot of loud music, and they all go crazy for it. They really enjoy the sport. It's really taken off well there in Europe. She had a nice run down there, got into her stop okay. Not quite as smooth as she would like it, but I have a feeling she'll keep stepping it up here. Shauna's very experienced, and she won't let anything rattle her. Just kind of hit the ground and came out of that stop and then got into it good, and helped her a lot with an excellent rollback right there, coming out of that stop, coming back around.
That's a pattern where you have 4 sliding stops, a little bit unusual, and if your horse is a big stopper, that's got to play into your game plan.
That's going to give you a definite edge. There, that's the stop she was looking for. He really nailed that stop pretty for her.
Very, very good for Shauna and BL Whiz Kid. 2:21.5, and they take the lead. We talked about the rivalry between the U.S. and Canada. That may wake Tom McCutchen up back there. 2:21.5 could be tough to touch. Let's go down to Jennifer Reynolds.
2:21.5, that'll work.
It's great, yeah, really exciting.
At what point out there did you start feeling like it was really coming together?
I felt really good right after the first stop and back up. Felt really good. His first set spins was great. He runs his circles great, so you really kind of get into the groove of it when he's running.
We've seen France, we've seen Canada. Up next, it's Germany's turn. Welcome back to Denver, where we had fresh snow this morning and AQHA's Best of the West coverage of the FEI World Reining Masters Finals. And that is Nico Horman from Germany riding Mucho Cowboy. You know, Nico in that situation where he came to the United States, making adjustments to this horse for the first time. You know, it's kind of like a get comfortable 101. How do you get prepared for a competition of this magnitude that quickly?
It makes it difficult for the riders, but I tell you what, you get on and you fortunately talk to the owners of these nice horses. They give you a few cues, and you're a good enough horseman. You'll go right out there and you'll ride them and get a few schools on them, and you'll be able to find their strong points and their weak points and get a game plan, and then you just go for it.
This is a 6-year-old gelding by Mucho Playboy. And for Nico, first time that he has qualified for this event, so probably has some nerves, but could be very much a learning situation for him as well.
Yeah, Nico's a very good young trainer from over in Germany, and although this is his first time here, it's not his first time for international competition, as he competed in the WEG Games, and then also he's shown a lot and won a lot over there in all of Europe.
9th in the World Equestrian Games earlier this year. That will get you ready for international competition at a high level in a hurry. And you can see the aggressive nature kind of continues on these big circles.
Once you get going in this as a competitor, too, the nerves get off. You're a little nervous out there in that back arena waiting to come in, but once you run through that gate and you're getting into your pattern, you'll relax and just get to showing your horse, and Nico's doing a good job of that right now, and he's staying very aggressive. And all the riders today are going to be very aggressive with these horses, trying to mark that big score just like Shauna did and try and get in front of her.
Lead change there. Nico started riding when he was 6, started reining about 11 years ago.
He's getting along real well. Everything's worked pretty smooth for him here so far. Again, you see the aggressiveness here. This is a nice facility that we're showing out here in Denver, and it's a big arena which allows you to really open those horses up and run real big, pretty circles, and so far all the riders have been able to do that.
Strong showing for Nico in the 2005 European Championships. Silver medal there. Now kind of set the stage for his second big sliding stop.
And he's done a nice job, again, getting on this horse that he doesn't know at all here and trying to be competitive with him. He's got him through everything real well. Comes down, that horse misses that stop at first there, then gets in it. So that's not going to be a good credit-earning stop for him. But he'll set him up and try and come back for him again. Again, he stayed completely out of trouble, though, on that stop and had a nice approach to his rundown, which makes a big difference on the stop. Once again, this horse is just missing that stop just a little bit at the start of it, which winds up making it for a negative maneuver for Nico.
Final sliding stop of the pattern coming here.
He really needs to come down and try and nail this to help his score out. And he missed it again. That's too bad for him, as he did a nice job everywhere else, but those 3 stops are going to hurt his score.
Had some issues in there in the score for Nico Horman, 210.5, but a good showing for the German in his first FEI World Reining Masters final in the U.S.
You can see him increasing to those stops good, but that horse actually held right there. That was his best stop right there. And then his turnarounds were very nice.
International experience is invaluable. For more on some firsts, let's go back to Jennifer.
For the first time, we have a rider here at the finals representing Norway. We have 3 riders who have qualified all 3 years this event has been held. Rudy Kronsteiner from Austria, Doug Allen from Great Britain, and Jeanette Krahenbuhl from Switzerland. And we have a rider from the Dominican Republic, Luis Oresanto, who has already experienced a personal first. Here in Denver, for the first time in his life, he has seen snow.
He put some 220s on the scoreboard. It's going to wake up Tom McCutchen. USA coming up next. That's what it's all about. The cup that goes to today's winner of the FEI World Reining Masters Finals. And that is Gilson Vendrame getting set from Brazil. And Pete, we've talked about the European riders and how they have progressed. How about south of the border?
Well, as you know, because I think you follow the PBR a little bit, some of the best bull riders are from Brazil. And the same goes for them in Horseman. Gilson's a very talented rider, and they have some very, very good riders down there. And they're coming up and getting more experience and more advice from everybody up here in the States, and their programs are really jumping up. It's just amazing. Any part of the world that you want to go to, the quality of riders and horses that are in those countries now, Jeff.
Been riding for 31 years, 17 years of reining experience, 5-time Brazilian quarter horse reining champion. Give you a little bit of his credentials as he gets into his turnarounds.
Yeah, this is a real nice mare that Brenton Pololowski is letting him use here, and she's really nice. As you see, got a very nice turnarounds going on. A lot of correctness with a lot of speed right there. Got a little rough and had a little bit of an overturn at the end there.
2-time complete Cowboy all-around competition champion in his country, so has good Cowboy skills all the way around. But, you know, reining is precise, it's finesse, and we'll see how well that translates over for him right here.
It was also Gilson's first time to see snow. He was pretty excited about that as well, as something we kind of take for granted, but people down south like that haven't seen any of it.
It's a cold morning in Denver, but warmed up and ready to go, and very aggressive in his big circles.
Really pretty. This mare is just really a pretty mare to watch go, and she's running really nice circles on a very loose rein and comes back to a very nice small slow circle. And again, Gilson's doing a good job. All of these riders are very talented, and we're going to keep seeing good run after good run here. And as for that small change, and that's a difficult thing to do, is to change those leads going that slow and then just guide right into the next small slow. That shows very good control on your horse.
You have a short window to get comfortable with your horse and kind of bond with him a little bit. What are the things that you need to work on?
A lot of it is just getting comfortable with it and getting to know the movement of that horse and how much go it has and how much you have to push it and how much you don't have to push it. As you can see here, Gilson's pushing this mare and making her run, and she's responding quite well to him.
Very loose lead as he gets through his final lead change.
Slows her down a little bit to set her up so she can come around the corner, get straight, and then run down for that stop, as that's really important as his approaches to the stops. Gilson did a very nice job. That mare stopped real big. It actually was in so deep, you could see the right leg even slipping a little bit right there. Got her rolled back and is headed back around again for another nice stop here.
In America, we see him, really let the horse settle quite a bit. That's probably the first time he's let his horse settle somewhat. Kind of a quick pace to his style.
Yeah, she leaned a little bit on that run down, swapped leads over to that right lead and lead on that stop. Still gave him a quality stop, and then he did a very nice job with that rollback.
And the final sliding stop now for the Brazilian reiner.
Oh, that was a very nice run. He should get a nice score.
212.5 is the score now for Gilson Vendrame. Well shy of the lead, but a good showing for this reiner from Brazil.
Here he is getting into the turn. As you can see, he does a very nice job. He's right in time with his mare and gets her shut off real straight and then runs her down. And as you can see, she gets in there and that ground gets a little slick and she slips just a little there, but he did a very nice job waiting on her to stand up.
And there is American Tom McCutchen on Smartest Cholina as he gets set. Probably the most decorated American reiner on the planet, and Tom always a threat to win. He sets his standards really high, and he's fun to watch, isn't he?
He really is. Tom's a very good competitor, and he and this horse have won a lot. This horse hadn't been shown for a couple of years, so he'll be real fresh here tonight, and I expect him to have a really, really good run.
NRHA lifetime earnings just shy of $1 million.
His wife is a very good non-pro competitor, and she's moving up the ladder to be the first non-pro to win $1 million. And I think Tom's trying to get up there and beat her before she gets there.
And speaking of Mandy, there she is. And that girl can whistle.
That was a very nice turn with a lot of speed. You can see the difference in his horse, how fast he turns around here. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. That would be a +1 turnaround right there, Jeff. as the maneuvers are scored from a 0 being average to a +1.5 or a -1.5, depending on the degree of difficulty with them, and that was very, very nice.
Very patient, lets him settle, and now starts into the large, fast circles.
Tom was really excited. He showed quite a few horses to be able to qualify to be the top rider coming in here for the United States to the Masters, and he's really excited about coming and showing here, and he's not going to leave anything out there. He's going for it.
Part of the U.S. team that won gold in Jerez, Spain at the World Equestrian Games. He's won the NRBC before.
Yeah, on this very horse right here, in fact, Jeff.
And I think Tom's one of those guys that really enjoys the international flavor of reining these days.
He really does, Jeff. He's been one of the strongest athletes to support the USEF in all of their international deals, and he has competed on almost every international competition that we've had. And again, he's having a very nice run. His horse changed out of that small slow to a real smooth, real pretty small slow to the left, and here he's increasing and even running a little faster this direction.
You know, I think for the Americans, too, the key to succeeding in a competition like this is it's all about the horsepower. And if you've got a great American quarter horse that you can kind of keep set back for competitions just like this, you're in the driver's seat. It's kind of like having a really good sports car in the garage.
That's it. And that's what Tom did. He never showed this horse all year, just wanting to save him up so he'd be really fresh to come and compete here and not have any habits out of this showing. Set up just a little bit there on the rundown, but really got in the ground deep, and a very nice rollback for him right there.
Well, Tom McCutchen has the Ferrari out of the garage for a Sunday afternoon drive, and it has been perfection for him so far.
He's really driving it good, is correct. He had to push him a little bit to that stop right there. He kind of slowed up on him a little bit. He still got a nice stop there, but not quite as good as the first stop. He's going to run him down here, I guarantee, for a big stop to get a good finish here.
Final big stop for Tom McCutchen and smartest chick Olina. 2:23, a new leader in the house as America surges to the top of the leaderboard. And Mandy likes it. Great run there for Tom McCutchen.
As you can see, this horse is really getting around very fast there and then comes down and really stops big.
He set up just a little bit on his first stop, but other than that, I was thrilled with him. He's such a good show horse.
You've had a lot of luck with this horse.
Oh yeah, he's been phenomenal. Really good.
U.S. and Canada now sitting 1-2 as McCutchen has the lead. Shauna Supergi in second place with a 2:21.5. And coming up, the only rider left who's been here all 3 times, and a rider whose run tonight could mean millions. Welcome back to Denver in the FEI World Reining Masters Finals. Jeff Metters along with Pete Kyle, and the World Equestrian Games wrapped up a couple of months ago in Aachen, Germany. Huge reception for the reiners there. You come back with another big international competition this time, and it shows you how big reining is growing on that international forefront.
It really does, and there's a larger goal that we have inside here for sport of reining, and that's getting into the Olympics in 2012.
And we talked with FEI Reining Committee Chairman Frank Costantini about getting reining into the big show.
Our goal actually is to get reining in the Olympics and do that and allowing all horse sports to grow in marketability also. And I think really as reiners and horsemen, we bring something different to the table. You know, with our Western attire, with our Western horses, we definitely bring an element that they're not used to seeing, and I think we've really captured the public's imagination.
Lisa Coulter from Canada had that shirt made special for this event. Her countrywoman, Shauna Supergi, number 2 on the leaderboard right now, 2:21.5. Jalapeno Pepe will be the wheels for Lisa in this final.
She's had Jalapeno for quite a while now, about a year and a half, and so she knows him pretty well. I talked to her right beforehand, and she was a little concerned. He seemed to be a little bit nervous out back, and sure enough, he wasn't listening to her right there, as you can see, and that's part of the problem when you have that first run in, and he missed that stop real bad right there.
Lisa's been training horses professionally now for about 10 years and has multiple Canadian championships to her name. Lives in Pilot Point, Texas, where she lives and trains now, and so you'll see a little bit of a U.S. flavor to her reining style.
Yeah, she's an excellent horse trainer and has done a very nice job, like say in Canada, and now is showing in United States. Lives right south of myself there in Pilot Point, has a nice ranch, and is very successful down here in the States as well. And she'll go ahead and try and make up some ground from that first stop. Both of those turns were okay. Would like to have seen a little more speed in them, but she got him turned around real clean. Now she's trying to make up some ground in these circles all right.
Competed in this event last year and struggled a little bit. And, you know, from a reining side of things, Pete, from a competitive side, you'd love to come back and fare very well, if not win this year.
Yeah, exactly. I think she competed last year and had the nerves get to her a little bit, and she feels a lot more comfortable with her horse this year and really does want to step up and do well for her country. That was a nice set of first circles right there and a good lead change and back into a small slow, and looks like she's got him listening and paying more attention to her here and stepping him back up for these next two set of big fast circles.
Again, a point that we've already made, a lot of these international riders are on borrowed horses they're not that comfortable with. That's not the case for Lisa, riding her own horse, the one that she trains.
There's another nice lead change. That was a good set of circles. If she can come back here and get him stopped well, she can make up a lot of ground. She just had problem on that first stop and starting to make up a lot of ground on those maneuvers.
Kept her speed up on that end of the arena, so she comes into this first sliding stop in the back half of the pattern very aggressively.
He gave her a little bit of a check there and then got in real nice and slid real well and clean roll back there. You can see he's a lot more relaxed right now. He's using his ears, listening to her. Coming down for her second stop. Oh yeah, that was good, very nice.
Something to build on as she goes back for her final loop and final sliding stop.
Well, I know she's going to be a lot happier with this ride this year. I know she'll be a little disappointed in that first stop, but the rest of it has really been good.
International competition is all about getting your feet under you, getting comfortable, and putting up the scores that you're used to. And for Lisa Coulter and Jalapeno Pepe, 2:15.5. They don't take the lead, but they're right in the middle of the leaderboard at the moment. Another look at that sliding stop here. She's with Jennifer.
Lisa had a little bit of a rough start, but you battled back.
I battled back. I had a rough warm-up. I've been warming him up for about an hour. He came out really fresh. He was excited by the noise and the lights, and that's good. And I was a little bit, he'd never been that nervous, so I maybe got him a little tired. So we missed our first stop a little bit and our first turnaround, but we rallied.
More of the international competition. Belgium on deck. Bernard Fonck will be next to go. Back in Denver, I know that feeling well. That television camera can be a little bit intimidating. There's Bernard Fonck from Belgium on Don Quintana, next to go. Specializes in futurity horses. He's got a lot of championships in that French, Belgian, German area over there. We'll see if his experience can pay off right here in Denver.
And Jeff, he's actually very new to the sport of reining. He's only been riding reiners since 2002, so he's only been doing it about 4 years. He's married to Ann Pools, who is an excellent reining trainer over there, and she dominates the sport in Belgium. And he's obviously picked up from his wife real quick how to do it. Bernard's an excellent young man and has very natural ability with the horses, and he's caught on real quick.
That speaks well of that natural ability when you can start reining and then move right to international competition the very next year. German Derby champion, the Americans Futurity champion, and also the Breeders Futurity from Germany, a champion in that event as well.
I am really impressed with the quality of horses that we see that were donated for these riders to ride. This horse, Don Quintana, is just an outstanding horse. Francois Gauthier has shown him and won a lot with him here in the United States, and One nice horse after another has been given to these guys, and the reason is because they know these are good riders and good competitors, and they're going to take care of these horses, and they're going to show them correctly and show them to the best of their ability. And here Bernard's doing a real nice job with this horse, and like I say, this is a really nice show horse.
We touched on it earlier. The emphasis here really is on the riders. The riders qualified to get here. And when you can get the strong caliber horses donated for them to use, that makes the overall reining competition extremely difficult.
He ran a real nice set of circles there. He was a little smaller on his big circles than the other people. If you look at the tracks, everybody's pretty much out there. And he was inside those a little bit, but ran very aggressively and came back really nice. Was just a little late on that lead change, but got a good clean lead change and nice smooth circle this way, and going to step on that gas pedal again.
This is a stallion by Topsail Whiz.
He's a really pretty Palomino horse and just hangs it out there, as you see. Very nice in his framework and is really a big stopper. And Bernard's getting along with him really well. I'm sure he hasn't rode this horse maybe a total of 4 times.
The loose rein in those large, fast circles, and now kind of size things up as he gets into these final 3 sliding stops.
And he's running him down. He's got real good speed right there. And a very nice stop. Little bit rough with that row back there. Just a little of that inexperience on knowing his horse how to get him out to the best of his ability. But that was a real nice stop.
You could tell from that opening stop that this horse is a big stopper.
And again, that's the Europeans right there. They're very aggressive. He's not afraid to run him down there and try and win something. And he is. He should have a real good score when he's done here. He's had a real solid run all the way through. Handled the pressure of coming over for his first big international competition.
Bernard Fonck representing Belgium very well. 217.5. That moves him into 3rd place at the moment with a little help from Don Quintana, who is 13 years old but can still get in the ground. That was that first sliding stop right there. And he finished the way he started, very aggressively. Let's go to Jennifer.
How did it go for you out there? Good?
It was really good. Just my turns, it was not too fast, but he was really listening. I was really happy with the horse, really happy.
When did you get on this horse for the first time?
Wednesday.
Well, America's still on top. Tom McCutchen with that 223. You can see Bernard Fonck moving into the 3rd place spot, just bumping Eric Laporte by a point. When we come back, Austria's rider, who has never missed this event. Back in Denver, Colorado, AQHA Best of the West coverage of the FEI World Reining Masters Finals. And right now, Pete's looking for his scope, trying to get that cleaned off and ready to go. And that is Dun Rooston, ridden by Jeanette Krahenbuhl. Very accomplished, ridden in all 3 of the FEI Reining Masters Finals.
She's done really well here in the past. She should have. This is a really nice horse. Oh, he just missed that stop. That's the inexperience of having a new horse. And she reached up there and grabbed with her second hand. And that's a 0 score for you. As you see, he just missed that stop. That's a combination of the new rider with a horse that they haven't worked together. And this horse really is a really nice horse and a big stopper, but just timed wrong. And just her reaction there is just naturally to grab with 2 hands. And I know she wished she hadn't done that, but she did.
She was a finalist in the 2006 World Equestrian Games, and she has won the restricted division here on the last 2 occasions, but a disappointing 0 for her. There's Rudi Kronsteiner from Austria. He has made the finals here in all 3 years of this event, and maybe this will be his year to get a win.
Rudi just dominates everything on the European side of reining, and he has a really nice mare here that Roseanne Sternberg's donated. She's given 4 high-quality horses for this competition, and this mare here could step up and be a very tough competitor with Rudi riding her.
Multiple European championships to his credit, and we mentioned that he's made this final every year, 3 for 3. Only 3 riders have been able to do that so far.
Rudy also was the world champion for the National Reining Horse Association last year, so he's very seasoned.
And off to a good start with his turnarounds.
This little mare by Shining Spark has won quite a bit here in the United States, and she's a really nice mare, as you're seeing. She had a very nice stop and good turns, and Rudy is just a superb showman, so I think he'll make her look good in these circles and then finish real strong again with her stops.
You know, Pete, you back up a decade ago, the NRHA Futurity was probably the most pressure-packed event for a reiner, and now you have, 4, 5, 6 events internationally that maybe, just as much pressure-filled as what you'll find in Oklahoma City.
Yes, Jeff, this is a major event right here, even though it's in its infancy stage. And there is a lot of pressure on these riders. They come here, they really want to do well because they're representing their country, and there's nothing bigger to represent than that for you. And so there are a lot of events that put a lot of pressure on you. And again, Rudy's handling it all really well, and this little mare is really working well for him.
Rudy also represented Austria in the World Equestrian Games, kind of cranking up the speed now in his final 2 big circles.
He is going right on. She's had a very clean run, and if she continues to do this, I know she's a big stopper. She's going to have a score that could push Shauna a little bit.
Flying lead change there, somewhat seamless, and now he'll get set for those final 3 big sliding stops. And Rudy so far done what he's needed to do, and maybe a third time is going to be a charm for him.
Changed leads, and that little mare just relaxed, slowed right down, and then just ran huge and stopped. That is huge right there. Very nice roll back. He's earning some credit on that run.
Back around the end of the pen. Now step on the gas once again.
And again, she's responding. And another big stop. And good clean rollback, got all the way around, straight right back over those tracks and right back out. You see he's got a real loose rein on her. This is really earning him a lot of credit. I think Rudy's going to have a very nice score here.
We talked about some of these international riders having a very short window to get to know these horses, and setting off Sparks and Rudy Kronstein are obviously bonding very quickly. 2:19.5, that will move them into 3rd place. Right behind Tom McCutchen and Shauna Supergia. You look back on this run, Pete, they did a lot of things right.
They really did. And look at this little mare. She is gritty and she stops huge.
What were you thinking as you headed out there?
I don't know. I didn't hear the score so far. I had a good feeling. I had a few bubbles on the turn, but I don't know. I really don't know how it was.
Now, you are really hoping to do well on this horse. It seems like you guys got hooked up pretty well.
Well, yeah, I'm riding her 2 days now, so no, we're doing good. Belongs to a good friend of mine. So I'm really pleased that she let me ride this horse.
The leaderboard looks like USA, Canada, Austria, but we have one more U.S. rider still to work.
Shan Florida won the gold the first time reining was in the World Equestrian Games back in 2002. Unfortunately, he did not qualify for Germany this year, but he's in the FEI Masters Finals tonight, and it could be a very big night for him. If he does well at all, he will probably become the 2nd rider in NRHA history to earn more than $2 million.
Well, that surge in the lifetime earning standings has come because he's really dominated the NRHA Futurity the last few years, winning in 02, 04, and 05. Riding Tinel Nick, owned by Roseanne Sternberg. This is a stallion by Bueno Czeksanek.
Well, that's really pretty. Sean and Tinel Nick have been together quite a while, as they also won the AQHA World Open title in the senior reining last year. And they're a very good team together. He's shown him a lot. They know each other real well, and they can put up a big number here.
And Sean's going to be very comfortable in that international spotlight. He won gold at the 2002 World Equestrian Games. So you're not going to intimidate him in this situation. And if you're Tom McCutchen, you're on top of the leaderboard, probably a little bit nervous.
Yeah, Tom knows good and well that Sean's going in there as his teammate, but is going to try and beat him. And he's got the horse that can do it. And Sean, of course, is the competitor. Like you say, he's about to win $2 million. He won his $1 million, and it's been just short of 4 years winning the next million, and that means he's been winning a lot in order to win that amount of money in that short of time.
Tim McQuay, the only other reiner to go over the $2 million mark. Kind of back to Florida and McCutchen, his teammates. You know, those guys are good guys to have as teammates, but man, that make it awfully hard to get that gold medal.
Yeah, Tom put up a really good run. Sean's going to have a really nice run here, and so far he has. His stop and his spins were excellent, and this first set of circles was really good. Leaned just a little bit on him in that first circle, but not much. Sean got through it real well. Good clean change, getting into his next small slow. Look at this horse, how pretty he is and how relaxed both of them are.
Good reining runs, just like poetry in motion. So fluid and so easy, and that's kind of the bad thing about watching these guys rein. They make it look easy, and the reality of it is very, very difficult.
And this horse here has been shown a lot, and the more they're shown, the smarter they become and how it becomes a little trickier. But this horse is just a show horse, and he really likes going and getting shown, and he and Sean really get along together well.
And I have to think as he goes through this last flying lead change, Sean's probably thinking he got done everything that he needed to get done up to this point in the pattern.
And this is one of this horse's trademarks right here, is his big stops. He is a fabulous stopper, and I think Sean will get him down here and you'll see what I'm talking about.
A pattern that has 4 sliding stops, so it really plays into his playbook. And just what you'd expect from Shan Florida and Tinel Nick.
Really pretty with a lot of style. Runs down there, he's building up that speed and gets in there really deep. Look at those hind feet all the way up to his front feet there. And then right back over his hocks, right over those tracks again. Sean is just a superb showman, and this is just truly a great horse. And I think Tom's kind of wringing his knuckles right now, wondering what's going to happen.
It's going to be very close, and that wraps it up for Tinel Nick and Shan Florida. Little Pat, 2:23.5. By a half point, Florida is going to edge McCutchen. And the U.S. is going to finish 1-2 here in Denver.
Look at this horse, how pretty he is and how quick-footed he was and correct right there. And then here's his big stops.
Let's go down to Jennifer.
This is a horse you've had a tremendous amount of success on, and a great ride again tonight.
Yeah, he's a wonderful horse. I'm honored to ride him, and Roseanne Sternberg that owns him is just a great owner.
What is it that makes him keep coming back time after time and doing so well?
He's really good-minded for one, and his grit. I mean, he just goes through there. He goes through the middle. Very few horses will go through that center and been showed as many times as him and want to come back and want to be good and steer. He's just awesome.
Final scoreboard for the FEI World Reining Masters. The U.S. finishing 1-2. Florida and McCutchen. Strong showing for Shauna. Supergia for Canada, as Canada continues to rival the U.S. for the top spot in terms of bragging rights and international reining. For Florida, it was a night where he had a lot on his mind. 2 million reasons to win.
Okay, so they just came. Did you just get the official word?
It's not official yet, but it sure looks like we crossed it. Coming in here, I think we needed about $6,000. They said we should have won somewhere around $16,000 or $17,000 tonight. So
that makes you reigning second $2 million man.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's pretty good.
It's been a dream of mine since I've been a little boy, so I'm really excited.
You know, you've been on the medals platform before. It's got to be a thrill.
It's always special. I mean, anytime you can represent your country, it's really, really neat. I love to compete. So, I mean, it's fun to have international competition, but if all these guys out here from Italy and Germany and all them guys, if they want to come out here and play marbles, I'd have just as much fun. But I love horses, too.
It is a short list of reiners that have earned $2 million in their career. Tim McQuay and now Shan Florida is U.S. 1 and 2 on that medal stand. Canada also getting a piece of it, and for Shan Florida, big night for him as he continues, Pete, to dominate reining in the U.S. and on the international stage. And $2 million jacket, if he didn't get it tonight, it would just have been a matter of time.
Yeah, and Sean's just pretty young yet, so he's going to win a few more million before he's done as well.
And he's dangerous with the champagne bottle. Congratulations to Shan Florida. For Pete Kyle, I'm Jeff Metters. So long from Denver.